Hi, this is Robert Colquhoun, Director of International Campaigns.
Por la vida en Colombia está lleno de frutos.
Geschlossen und manche Eltern sagen, ja, es ist nicht mehr selbst.
People start saying that, if your thoughts fall foul of the popular opinion, that they're somehow criminal.
Mi hija ha decidido no abortar.
Our freedom in a democracy, in our open society, begins with the freedom of speech.
Ante todo, los pilares de 40 días, ¿no? La oración, el ayuno, la yoga.
So sometimes it's just a little thing that we have to do. So
También dignidad, que son creados también por
But
Dios.
beyond what we say, anything we do at 40 Days for Life, anything we say to defend the unborn, we do with love.
Los bebés no tienen que ser abortados de una madre.
40 Days for Life International Podcast.
El podcast de 40 días por la vida internacional.
Hi, this is Robert Colquhoun, Director of International Campaigns for 40 Days for Life, and we're here with another international podcast. We're getting more podcasts going on the international side. Do visit 40daysforlifeinternational.com. I'm really honoured and blessed to be here today with Dr. John Edwards from Nottingham, England, and we're here at our international conference in Florida with a chance to interview some of the international leaders. Now, John has led an incredible campaign in Nottingham. Not only that was the 100th abortion facility in hospital that closed following a 40 Days for Life campaign, but John was also challenged in the courts by the local authorities as well. He's been a rock star leader for us, somewhat legendary status, and so John, it's a real honour and blessing to have you here in our conference in America. How did you get involved for the first time in 40 Days? This is going back sort of 2016-17, I think, isn't it? So
2016 was our first campaign.
So you've been involved with the pro-life movement for decades, haven't you? And and you thought a new sort of approach of taking a religious angle, taking prayer, was a different way from everything that you tried before. So what was that like for you?
The pro-life cause is very close to my heart. It's been the most important cause of all, really, in my life. And it's a reflection of my Christian faith, an expression of my Christian faith. In 2015, I retired from full-time work.
You were a head teacher, weren't you?
I was a head teacher
and a
of
school
a secondary
inspector.
school.
Yeah.
And a school inspector, that's right.
Yeah.
You know more about me than I do. And I made the mistake of going to March for Life.
Oh no! What did you do that for?
Meeting Robert.
Dangerous activity.
I thought, well, Robert was looking for. You were looking for leaders in 2016. Always are. Yeah. And I just felt the Holy Spirit tapping on my shoulder, saying, "You can't escape this one."
Yeah, that's great.
And I have no regrets. We've done 7 campaigns, and it's been a great blessing, really.
Yeah.
Challenging, but a great blessing as well.
And tell us about the experience. You've been challenged. You've faced opposition. You've faced challenges, and what has that been like for you? Has that been spiritually an opportunity for growth? How have you responded to the challenges that you faced?
There's no experience like it on a
Yeah.
spiritual level. It's especially the way that 40 Days is aligned with Lent and the preparation for the great feast of Easter, and then Holy Week and so on, the Passion of our Lord, and it's a preparation. It's a preparation for that time. It's an opportunity to grow in holiness, really. It's challenging because to be honest, the biggest challenge is getting people to come and pray with us. It's not easy. Rob, you know the UK better than I do. It's not an easy environment in which to do what we do, which is to witness on a street, in the public place, to our faith, and to offer help to women. We are criticised for it. We are abused for it, and that takes us a certain sort of approach. And so not everybody likes that, but we, thank God, we've been very blessed. We've got some fantastic. I've got a team who work with me of about 10. We plan the campaign quite a long way in advance, and we recruit. And thank God we've been able to cover every hour of our campaigns.
It's amazing.
Since then. Yeah.
So 2 big things have happened. First of all, you were challenged in. You sort of had an injunction against you, and then you had to defend yourself in court. And what was that experience like for you? And how did you respond to that challenge?
It was terrifying.
It's not for everyone. Not all our leaders get taken to court.
Terrifying and exhilarating, and felt very positive because in 2018 I was served with a personal injunction, which had been issued by a local judge. In secret, in a secret hearing without my knowledge, on the basis that I was an immediate and posing a threat to public order.
This is a badge of honour.
Me personally was
badge
posing
of honour.
I mean, what a badge for our faith, really. And that was because we were praying the rosary. Now they picked on me, not because I was the only person in the campaign, but because I was the leader. And the calculation was that if they could stop me being involved, then the campaign would collapse. First of all, it didn't, because I can remember at the very moment when I was served with the injunction, I walked away, and one of my fellow prayer warriors was with me.
It's brilliant.
And the man said, he's your leader, we'll get rid of him. And the woman who was left, Carol, said, Jesus is our leader.
Yeah, that's great.
Said it all.
That's great.
And the campaign continues to the end. But I went to court, and it was very interesting. But the judge threw out all the charges against me and said, it's against the law. What this man is doing is peaceful, it's legal, hasn't broken any laws, and he has the right to do it.
Yeah.
You might not like it, you might disagree with it, but that doesn't mean to say he shouldn't be allowed to do it, which was not very pleasing for Nottingham City Council, because they put a lot of money into the case.
Wow.
3 solicitors, a barrister from London.
Wow, that's
a lot of public money actually was wasted on that, and lots of allegations which were
baseless.
Untrue.
Yeah,
untrue,
exactly.
Completely untrue.
Yeah. Well, you think of what Jesus went through in his trial of being dragged in front of people for an unjust cause, and and that was a vitriolic attack on you, completely baseless. But what happened next was that Nottingham was the 100th abortion centre to close following a 40 Days for Life campaign. That the abortions happened in the hospital and they stopped doing abortions. So what was that experience like for you, seeing them stop doing abortions? I know the head of the hospital wrote a letter to you, and all the kickback shows that you're with the right target, and the prayer is working, and that you're getting a big response.
I'd like to share one of the big learning points, which was we at every stage followed the rules of 40 Days for Life. We were peaceful. That's
great.
We were abused. We do not abuse. We don't respond. We don't get angry. All those really basic and obvious things that you sign up to.
That's right.
in your contract. We followed them to the letter.
Yeah.
And that really paid back in our favour, because I was able, for example, in the court case, I said to the police, could you just tell me what you think about our campaign? And he sent me, a police inspector who was responsible for our area, said, we've never had any complaints about your campaign. Yeah. Not one. Our officers who visited us regularly said we never once broke the law, which was not what could be said about the people who opposed us, because they did. They did cause a nuisance, and they were very loud, and they did various things. And that really supported us in court, because I was able to quote our police inspector. Yeah. And then the judge was able to say, well, that's what the police say, so what's your objection? Yeah. And I think that counted for us. And it also counted for us with the hospital. Yeah. Because although the people who ran the hospital and the doctors who were involved could see that we had a particular position, they could also see that our approach was dignified and respectful and actually compassionate. We're there to support and help women, and there was no sense whatsoever in which they could say that we were judging people or trying to harass or intimidate, which is what we were accused of.
All the time.
All the time. But the evidence just didn't stack up.
Exactly.
We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we
That's
don't.
Right.
It's not what the sort of people who do a 40 Days for Life campaign. They're not the sort who intimidate people.
Exactly. It's fairly meek.
Well, the worst that we could be accused of was that we prayed in a foreign language. And that language was Latin. I mean, we have people from different countries. There was a Polish man and an English man and a Spanish woman, South American woman, and they were praying together. So they prayed the rosary in Latin, because that was a common language.
That's right.
And this was deemed to be intimidating. The judge didn't think so.
Well, your presence and your prayers really touched the conscience of a lot of healthcare workers, of nurses, of doctors in a really remarkable way, and the impact that you've had has been absolutely incredible, and it's come at a personal cost, a personal sacrifice, but that also you've witnessed the spiritual blessings as well. And now we're into an era of thought crimes and buffer zones and what have you across the whole country, and my sense is that God will draw out a much deeper victory, that he's preparing us for a much deeper victory, and that we want to touch hearts and minds all across the country in such a strong way. And you've now moved to BPAS, haven't you, from the hospital? And what's the new place like, the new BPAS abortion centre that you're having a prayer vigil at?
As you said, in 2019, which was the year after that, in Junction, we discovered that they had stopped routine abortions at the hospital.
It's incredible.
And I mean, this it's a major hospital for the whole of the East Midlands region in the UK.
So that's unthinkable.
And it was just something that we could not have contemplated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was quite astonishing, I think, really. So we then, the following year, we went to relocate it to another abortion clinic, which is on the outskirts of Nottingham. Yeah. And the problem, again, is that it's not an abortion clinic specifically, solely. It's a general medical practice with other services like there's a dentist upstairs. But one of the great blessings has been witnessing there, and people saying to us, local people saying, they don't do abortions here. Why? Well, actually, they do. Yeah. And then people say, I'm not happy about that. I didn't realise that.
Nobody knew.
I go there for my dental treatment. That's not good.
That's right.
And the interaction with other fellow Christians who are not part of our campaign but live locally and were disappointed to learn that was very. It's an interesting aspect of our campaign. One of the many blessings. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible what God has done in through your efforts in Nottingham. And we're entering an exciting time for the pro-life movement in the UK. We're in uncharted waters right now with the national buffer zones. But I had the sense for people who have the courage, the conviction, the integrity, like yourself, that God can do amazing things, can do miracles. And the fact that you've impacted the whole region, you've been on the national news in the UK as well, that's really encouraging. And just from one desire to do a campaign to see the place closed, to see all the challenges, but know that all the challenges were worth it for the witness and the importance of this importance of witnessing for life as well. We know that we're having a large impact in the UK, and I'm inspired and encouraged to see what's the next stage. We're here in Florida, and just things are on another level here in the United States. We've seen Roe end here in America, and that sends a huge message of hope to us internationally in the UK that we can actually end abortion in the UK. What would be a final message for 40 Days for Life volunteers and leaders? What would be the one thing that you would want to say to them to encourage them or inspire them?
I think that every campaign, and this is not not an original idea, it's part of the 40 Days for Life ethos. Very important part is every campaign has to be rooted in prayer. Prayer before you begin, prayer at the end, and prayer right through. Because if it's not, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to end abortion and change people's hearts and minds simply by protesting, witnessing. We have to be willing to ground ourselves in prayer, and that needs to be reflected in our lives as well.
Yeah, John, thank you so much indeed for speaking to us today. It's an honour and blessing to have you as a leader, and I look forward to what God has in store for Nottingham for the next stage. We're entering interesting times in England, but also on the international side. So please go to 40 Days for Life International.com. This is just one of many podcasts that we're going to be having over the next coming months as well. Thank you so much for your witness and for your work, John. May God bless you. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you.
No te pierdas los podcasts de 40 días por la vida internacional con entrevistas, reportajes y testimonios de todo el mundo.
Don't miss our podcasts with interviews, news, and reports from around the world.